So welcome back to the Wistl Family Adventure channel. I know our schedule has been a little bit sporadic, but we are still trying to find our feet. Today and this whole week is going to be really important for us, and it's going to be super busy because we are actually going to be moving into the rental property that we finally have acquired. All the paperwork is pretty much at the point where we can hopefully move in very, very soon. Very exciting. If you didn't know, we actually sold all of our belongings and took a trip to the Philippines for 10 months and decided to live there and immerse ourselves in Filipino culture and the country and the history and all the amazing things that we learned coming back from there, which means we have no furniture. We've got nothing to fit out our new home. We have saved a few tiny little things that meant a lot to us that we didn't want to let go of just in case, luckily. But apart from that, we're a little bit bare on filling up this property with furniture. If you are a Filipino viewer, you might not know that properties in England, especially rentals, normally come unfurnished unless you're looking at a city property or a condominium in a very big city, as in London or Manchester. If you're looking at a rural property or a province property, it's very, very rare to have any furnishings in it. Maybe appliances such as fridges or ovens, but that's about it. So we have come to the lovely place, I don't know what this is called really, a town or a village, of Battlesbridge, which is known for its antiques and craft centre, which is supposed to be really, really big, and you can find some really awesome deals and vintage furniture. We are trying to go either secondhand or vintage because it's not only my aesthetic, but also it saves a lot of money buying old versus new, and also you can always do them up or use them as projects, which I have got a few things already which we're really excited to get going and start. So we're here today and we're going to have a little look around the antique centre and try and find some pieces that might fit into our new home. Very exciting. Yes, and then later on we will take you maybe somewhere else, and we want to go through all of the culture shocks that we've experienced since coming back to England.
So we wanted to fill our home with valuable meaning from now on. So we've got things from my granddad, my nan, Bex has got things from her family and things that have been made for us. So coming to places like this, antiques, everything's got a story, and maybe we'll find some things that could bring a more of a valuable meaning if we bring it into our home.
And I'll be alright. I'll be right here. I swear that I'll stay here with you.
So as you guys know, we're going to be going from a 1-bedroom condominium in the heart of Makati to a 3-bedroom house, which we've never had before. We've always lived in either a maisonette, which is like a flat, a condominium, or with a parent. So it's going to be very, very strange. So we kind of feel a little bit spoilt for choice on how to style the property, how to make it our own. And as Kev said, we're really into looking at things that have more meaning, things that are old that we can kind of give new life to, and that's why we're here today. Because that's kind of what the aesthetic we are after. And then those pieces will hopefully follow us to future homes because they'll have a lot more durability because they are better made and better quality. It's just a bit overwhelming figuring out exactly what we really want. We do have things like a table and chairs now. We're still deliberating on things like sofas, TVs, all that stuff we do not have. We got a couple of beds in a sale, which is really, really cool. So we got a really good steal on most of the furniture that we've actually picked out so far. It's just working out how much we want to add to it, because if you didn't know, we love to live simply and minimally. We don't like to have a lot of clutter or a lot of things that don't make sense, but I also love beautiful things. I'm a bit of a magpie, so having beautiful things is also important for me. Colour, texture, pattern, all that kind of stuff I really love. But yeah, it's just a little bit overwhelming trying to figure out exactly what to do with the space, especially because we haven't seen it without the other people's furniture in it. When we went to view it, they had all their boxes and furniture out still because they were in the process of moving. So it's really tricky to work out what it really looks like and how much space we really do have.
Promise I won't leave your side.
Places like this are full of little treasures. There's so much to look at. This one is full of glass. That one in the corner over there is books and paintings, which is very, very cool. And then this is just all ornate, like vintage things. Just everything I love is in this kind of room. It's very cool. It's too much to look at though. It's very windy out there, as you can see.
We had a really cool time there, and there was lots of interesting stuff.
So it turns out we didn't pick anything up from that particular antique store. The prices were a little bit more heftier than I anticipated. Also, we didn't find things that really matched our style or suited us personally, but on the way back we did pop into a charity shop and actually picked up some really killer deals. So we've got a few things for literally a couple of pounds worth, which is really, really good. And then since coming home, we actually received our estate agent's email, which had the whole contract for our home, which once you've signed that, and you can do that electronically, basically you get to move in, and I just have to hand over a bunch of money and then we're in, and that's so exciting. So we've literally just signed it, so it's really, really, really cool. I think one culture shock we've definitely had since coming back is the cost of living in England is far greater than the Philippines in a lot of different ways. There are a few things that we found are cheaper here in England, like groceries, but in terms of rent, we're going to be paying probably 4 times, if not 3 times more than we would do with our condominium in Makati. And obviously utilities and all those sorts of things are also far higher. So it's definitely going to be a little bit of getting used to, because we've obviously lived very simply and with not a lot, and we haven't spent much since being out in the Philippines. And then coming here, luckily we came home with a lot of savings still. It's been a little bit of a weird thing to get our head around again, like relearn that actually, yeah, things cost quite a bit more here. But obviously we do have jobs now which will be starting in the next couple of weeks, so we'll be working again, and hopefully still making YouTube content as well. But that's just another thing that we've had to get used to. That's definitely the first major culture shock. It's just the expense of everything is obviously far greater here in the West. So we've just come out to the park. It's one thing that we really enjoy doing at the moment, is having a really early dinner and then coming out to the park kind of mid-late evening when it's a lot cooler. Because if you didn't know, the UK is experiencing a bit of a heat wave, kind of. It's hot for us in the UK now, but because we don't have the facilities like the Philippines does, like good air conditioning and a pool, it's a lot harder to cope with. So it's a little bit tricky. So there's another kind of cultural shock that we've had to deal with, is not being able to just dip in the pool or go to our condo and just get some good aircon, or go to a mall. Our kind of, I mean, we don't have malls really, but our shopping centres is what we would call them. That's a very British word. Doesn't really have a lot of aircon going on, especially at this time of the year. Usually it's not till a little bit later when it starts to really heat up that they'll kind of turn it on. So I think we're really just trying to deal with the hot weather, and like Filipinos, we've decided to come out a bit later in the day when the sun has kind of gone right over and we can enjoy a bit of a breeze. That is one thing about the UK that we do get, is a good breeze, but you have to wait till a lot later on in the day. So it's a little bit tricky, and it's a little bit sad that we don't just have our favourite swimming pool, because I really, really miss it at the moment. It's been really, really tough having to build new routines since coming back to the UK. So obviously jumping off of a plane after living in a country for 10 months, because we didn't necessarily travel the whole of the Philippines like a lot of vloggers do. We actually lived there and made it our base for 10 whole months. And whilst the time there was incredible, we did have to make the decision to come back. And that came with its own overwhelming culture shocks that we weren't expecting. And I think the moment we got off the plane, we just realised how bright everything was, how green England is, and also the people. There is a massive, obvious, vast difference between Filipinos and British people. Some would say we are a bit more on the grumpier side over on this side of the world, which I would agree with them to some degree. But we do obviously miss all the people in the Philippines, because all of our memories are attached to the moments we've had and spent with incredible people. We also miss our friends dearly, and it's been really sad having to kind of let that part of our life go. I think when we were first here, it was really difficult to process the decision we'd made, because it was such a quick decision, and I think a lot of us almost regretted it, because we obviously miss where we spent almost a whole year in, and it's really difficult to process that. The moment you step off the plane, you're like, oh crap, did I make the right decision, or am I going to regret this? I think if you would have asked us how we were feeling those first few days coming off that plane, I think we would definitely have been very mixed feelings, especially Kevin. I know he definitely felt like it was the wrong decision for us. But now, after a month, can you believe it's been a month already? We're settling in, we're making some new routines, but because we are still not in a property of our own, those routines will obviously change again. So there's a lot of change, and that can be very, very overwhelming and very difficult to process, especially with 3 children. I think it's taken its toll on all of them individually in their own unique ways. But once we get situated, fingers crossed, things will be just a little bit easier. But we definitely miss those memories and being in that country. But I feel like now we've been here a month, I don't regret coming back, and I think it's still the best decision. I just think we need to work on it like anything, and you need to make it work. Like going to the Philippines, when we went to the Philippines, we went, oh my God, we cannot do this. And the first week I literally said to Kev, if it's like this after a month, we can either travel somewhere else and go there for a month and then go back, or we can just go straight home, because I don't feel like I can do this. And look where we are now, guys. We did 10 months, we fell in love, and hopefully one day we will be able to return, but what's to say we can't do that again? So we are trying slowly to build ourselves back up again. But for anybody that's made a lifestyle choice and then had to change very abruptly, or that's been in a different country for a long period of time and then has to come home for their own personal reasons, you are going to get like reverse culture shock. And that definitely did happen. We really had to like relearn the English way, but we are getting there slowly. It's just been a little bit of a journey, which is what the Wistl Family Adventure channel is all about. It's all about the journey, because the destination does not matter.
So I think for me, the first, I would say 2 to 3 weeks, felt like I was going backwards. Like we made so much progression on the changes we made going to the Philippines. During the Philippines, it felt like, because we came back to a village where I was brought up, and we saw people that we have known for years, and it felt like we're going back to the same old routine. It was quite hard to take. Now I'm feeling a bit more positive. We've got a new chapter, a new area. We've never lived in this area before. It's closer to beaches.
Oh, you're giving stuff away now? Oh
no,
sneaky giveaway.
There are parts where it's exciting to try and find a new part of our life.
You can smile now. So as Kev said, it's definitely a new adventure. Not maybe as adventurous as flying halfway across the world to live a life that we had no idea was going to turn out like. I mean, who does that really with 3 children? Not many people. But we, as much as we miss the Philippines so much, it's also opened our eyes to not only being positive people, to having more adventures, to looking at life very differently, to taking a chance on people and on things that we're not always keen to do, to not look at life like we are being held back or under the thumb or in the system or locked in or oppressed by governments or any of that rubbish, but to take responsibility for our own lives and to make it the best we can make it. So Filipino positivity is the lesson that we are definitely taking forward with us. And despite all the culture shocks, and despite having to return to kind of normality, and despite having to take it all back in again and relearn a new way to live yet again, who cares? You know, we've done it again, and we'll do it again. We'll do it as many times as we need to do it to get to where we want to be, really. And that's the exciting part about life. You can choose to live it however you want to. You can go have any adventure, no matter how big or small. So we're going to close this video off now because it's coming up to the kids' bedtimes and we're still out. and about in the park. So we will hopefully catch you in the next one, and I'm really hoping to get back to our normal schedule very, very soon. And we will obviously be vlogging our move as well, which is also super exciting. So I will see you guys in the next one. I'm going to say it very quietly because there's lots of people around, and I'm still getting used to vlogging back in the UK because they're not as used to it as maybe you guys are in the Philippines. But yes, we will see you guys in the next vlog. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us continuously, even though we have had to turn back. We really appreciate every single one of you, and we love answering and reading all your comments despite not being online as much as we really, really want to be. So we'll see you in the next one. I'm going to end this very long outro. Thank you so, so much, and wait for the next video because it will be coming very, very soon.
Clouded eggs, we danced, we fought.